Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome to the channel. My name's Anubis, and today we're going over some stuff on Crossout of what to expect as a new player. So number one is don't expect to start off with a crap ton of armor or weapons or anything like that. Like, this game really makes you work for stuff like that. Unless you decide to buy a pack or something like that, you're not gonna get anything to sell right away. You're not gonna get like it doesn't hold your hand, you know. So it's something that you have to work at. You gotta level up. You gotta unlock the rarities in the market, which I can show you right here. Like, I have most of the rarities unlocked. I got everything from white all the way up to legendary. But if I click on relic, nothing shows up. That means I don't have it unlocked yet. There's nothing there for me to unlock. Nothing I can buy or anything like that just yet. And I don't remember what level it is that you have to get to unlock relic weapons. But don't expect to have your hand held, is what I'm saying. Like, this is just, it's a game where they force you to play and level up and just, you know, bust your ass to pretty much get started. But once you do get to that point where you can buy weapons that you want, or you start getting more armor, you start being able to build a better vehicle, that's when the game really starts to pick up and get fun. And don't expect to win every match. Just because you have a good build doesn't mean you're going to win a match. You could end up with crappy teammates, or you could end up with enemies that are using annoying BS builds that can one-shot you. You know, like, there's always something. So just because you're a good player doesn't mean you're going to play well, is what I'm saying. And so those are just some things of what to expect, and we'll get into some gameplay, and I'll show you my build. This is my secondary account. So I am a level 18, fresh at the game, don't have a whole lot unlocked. I finally gotten to the point where I can start crafting some stuff and selling it. Unfortunately, the things I crafted, people are no longer buying, so I have to wait. So that kind of sucks, but I'm trying to get rid of some of these so I can afford to get an engine, which is why I have this, so I can craft with that engine that I want. And yeah, so why don't we go ahead and get into some gameplay, and then I'll show you some more stuff. Alright guys, welcome. We're playing the ship graveyard. Not one of my favorite maps by far, but not the worst map in the game either. So the build that I'm using is a triple Emily build. If you don't know what Emily's are, they are a special rarity grenade launcher. And they're actually pretty decent, better than I thought they'd be for this power score. Which I'm playing 5,000 power score, but if I could aim properly. There we go. Oh, dang it. Let's go over. Well, I was going to come help this teammate out, but he did. Or I'll take the kill, either way. Alright. So there you go. That was a good match. Not my best match, but I got beat by bots. Also, something that you can do to help yourselves out, guys, is there are daily and weekly challenges that you can do. And one thing that I recommend, especially if you're not buying packs or anything at the time, is do all of these daily challenges. If you can't do the one with the weapon requirement, that's not a huge deal, but try and do the rest of them. And what I recommend doing is getting copper and getting scrap. And what you can do is you can come over to Engineer's Faction and you can craft these repair kits. And you use these repair kits when you die in a raid or whatever. You can use one to revive yourself. But what I like to do is I'll just like save up like 9 to 1200 scrap and like 400 copper, and I'll craft 4 sets of these, and I'll sell them on the auction house, or on the market, excuse me. And that's a good way to make some bank. If you can sell 20 of those at a time, that's like roughly 80 gold in your pocket right there. So that's a little pointer to you guys. Craft repair kits, sell them on the market. Alright, so what map are we playing on? Chemical plant. I always forget the names of these maps. Target the spot real quick. Ouch. Ew! It hurts. Stop hitting me. Stop hitting me, boss. God dang it, dude. I swear, I'm like a magnet for bots. That's another thing too, like, don't expect to get a full team until the crossplay is implemented later this year. God, I can't even frickin' steer right now because you blew up my whole front end. But yeah, don't expect to get full matches, and they changed something a while back too, that on console, you don't get as many players in a match as PC does, and I'm not entirely sure why they changed that. Wow. But yeah, I think once they implement or add the crossplay functionality, I think we'll start seeing a lot more full lobbies. But until that happens, it's kind of hard unless it's a weekend, then, you know, there's a good deal of people online and everything. But as you can see, even bots are doing some work. Like, bots can be annoying. Don't expect bots to just be completely stupid all the time. Most times they are. But if a couple of bots see you, they will stay targeted on you unless you use a cloak or something. Like, they are the most annoying thing in this game, I want to say. They are terrible. And somehow this guy got stuck. Oh, his bumpers in the back are sitting too low. Good job, buddy. Also, another thing to not, like, expect from this game is, like, there's tons of different weapons in this game, but just because a weapon has a certain stat or a certain perk, don't automatically assume that it's going to be good. For example, the Reapers. The Reapers have maxed out fire rate and medium damage, but they're honestly not that great. Like, in comparison, you can use 4 Arbiters and do way more DPS than the Reapers. And they're a lot less power score. You can run them at about the same power score and do way more work. I mean, yeah, they have less durability, but they also output a lot more damage. So if you can keep your guns on your build, you're good. But yeah, don't expect like some weapons to be like, oh my god, you know, they're legendary, they're automatically going to be good because of the stats. Yeah, I mean, stats don't automatically mean anything. Like, I mean, for example, like the Spark has 1 damage output and 3 fire rate and 1 range, like really low stats. But you can run 3 or 4 of these, you'll be at a higher power score, but you can run 3 or 4 of these and actually, like, you know, sometimes do work on people, and they're meant to be a support weapon. So, I mean, you know, like there's just different instances like that. And the same thing like with the Hurricanes, like unless you really like mix a bunch of really good parts that work well together with the Hurricane, um they're really not that good. I would lean more towards getting Pyres, which are an epic or purple rarity. They're just better. They cost 2 energy apiece, and you can mount like 6 or 7 of them and do way more damage. But yeah, the Hurricanes are just, they're kind of not that great unless you like really do them up properly, you know. Let me see if I can find another weapon that isn't like, you know, the greatest, like the Harvester. The Harvester's perk says it does a lot of damage, but that's only if you have negative status effects like electricity slowing the vehicle down, or like it says, heating up the vehicle parts with like a flamethrower or a laser beam. Like, you really can't get any potential out of this weapon unless you mix it with something like that. So, you know, there's just instances like that, you know, where you might think a weapon is really good or really bad, but it's the total opposite, actually, if you make the proper build for it. It just depends on the user and the player, you know, what type of build they decide to make with it. But, like, if you just take some shitty-ass little build like this and then throw, like, a Harvester on it with nothing to buff it, and make use of the perk, then you're kind of wasting energy, and you're kind of wasting gold on a weapon that can't be used at its full potential and, like, really do work. So, yeah, don't expect all weapons to be exactly as they are made out to be in terms of stats, because if used in a certain way, they can be really good, or they can just be bad overall. You know, like, you never know unless you look up a video, or, you know certain modules to mix with the weapons. Like, you know, there's so many different types of builds on this game nowadays, and there's so many different ways to make your builds, but you got to do them properly. You can't just throw something together because it looks cool and expect to do well with it. You know, that's not how this game works 90% of the time. Very rarely will you find a cool looking build, or, you know, a build that looks good but doesn't have functionality. You know, we call those art builds. Very rarely will you find an art build that has the functionality of a meta build, or a build that's really well thought out and put together, you know, has all the right, you know, modules, all the right weapons, you know, things that can really work well together. So that's my pointer to you guys. When you're making a build, do your research on the weapon or module or vehicle type that you want to make. Do your research on it before you go and build it. There's plenty of videos on YouTube besides mine, and just do, you know, look them up and see if they're any good, if they're worth using, because you might be surprised. You might be very, very surprised. But yeah, don't just go throwing a build together and expect it to work like a charm, because yeah, I'm not trying to be negative. I love this game. There's a lot of good to it. But you can't just throw something together and expect it to be good. You know, that's just not how it works. And I think we'll do one more match, and I think we'll call it quits after that. I hope you guys are enjoying so far, and enjoying the ride with me. Okay, welcome everybody. Power plant it is. All right. So, a little fact sheet for you here. So if you look at my the bottom right there by my mini map, you can see I have the statistics pulled up of my system. I'm running 144 FPS, pretty much locked, and I have for CPU I have the Ryzen 5 5600X, which I actually covered in my previous video, and then I have the 2060 Super. But yeah, and top left, if you can see that, the temps are really good and everything, but I am also liquid cooled, so that helps a lot. But do I need to back up? Yeah, and I got my CPU overclocked to 4850 megahertz. So, super solid little CPU. That's what I was saying yesterday, or the other day in my build guide PC video, whatever. You know, it's, for the price, it's actually a super solid little gaming CPU. Well worth the money. Nope. Oh, you piece of crap. Dang it. Oh, that was a quick match.
Now that's what I like. Well done.
And we leveled up... What was that we leveled up? It was Perseus. Okay. Sure. Oh yeah, I don't have the materials for it. But that's okay. But yeah, speaking of PC parts, guys, I think I'm going to be doing a video here shortly about my PC specs and maybe show you the computer itself, show you my whole setup and everything, and show you what I'm rocking. But I think for today, that's what we're gonna do. That's where we're gonna leave it at. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this probably wasn't the most entertaining video, but if you liked it, give me a like anyways. Leave a comment below on your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.